Colleagues, the last 10 years, the 10 hottest years that have been on record have been the last 10 years. So since 2015 to 2024, data has shown us consistently that the hottest years on record over the last, that have spanned a period of 10 years, fall within this last decade. Climate change is here and we have to fight it. And there is no way that we can fight without having the necessary legislation to protect our actions. When I hear that 3 African countries have legislation on climate change, it really makes me think we are not taking this issue as seriously as we have to. Every country has always shown its determination to address issues by first and foremost debating the issue in Parliament and adopting and enacting the right legislation to protect and enable action in those areas. I think we are starting this a little bit late, but I cannot thank Agnes enough for championing this initiative, and I recognize the government of Nigeria and our host institution here for joining forces with them to make this a possibility. Colleagues, they say it is better late than never. I see this initiative unlocking climate action across Africa. I see countries looking to this law, this model law that will be adopted here, and saying, how can I adopt and adapt this to my national circumstances? How can I make sure that what is already out there, I can bring it home, question it against my social, economic, and political circumstances, and make sure that it fits my own national circumstances, that I own it. No one is coming here and saying there is a model law that you must pick and use it verbatim. The idea is, it is there, you can look, it's, chapter 4 doesn't work for me, or article this, or this doesn't work for me, and you focus on those that work for you and bring it home and own it. I see this also informing discussions when you engage with your ministers, when you engage with your parliamentarians. I see this becoming an instrument that will help me at the UN level. When I engage with countries, I'll be able to put it before them and say, these are the commitments that you have signed on to as a country. You're supposed to submit a biannual transparency report every 2 years, and this is coming from decision this, and this is part of the Paris Agreement that your country has signed on to. This then helps me also that you, as a parliamentarian, can hold your government to account for signing on to the Paris Agreement. You can have a meaningful discussion. This can also be a thing that you can use even to attract international resources to fund in the area of climate change. Colleagues, let's make good use of our presence here to understand the content of this model law. I really like the approach that Agnes has used and partners have used, because they didn't leave it dry. Typically, you will find a very dry model law that is drafted, and they will just say, you have this responsibility, and they went right deep into it, defining terms within the African context. What do we mean by a national adaptation plan? And what does the convention, what the international treaty that you've signed on to tell you about your commitments as far as it's concerned? So it is a document that I find very rich, and at the same time, very enabling in nature without restricting your actions at the national level.